has got the grill going on a Sunday in West Sacramento. Jacob Lopez takes the field with his defense right behind him. The A's coming off of a 15-1 victory last night, and it is a beautiful day. Game Time Weather Day is brought to you by Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. 85 degrees, not too much wind, 35% humidity, but comfortable again, Dallas, as we take in another ball game here at home.
And I can't wait to get this Sunday Southpaw Showdown going, Chris. Jacob Lopez on the bump, Foster Griffin. It's going to be an exciting one, and it's been exciting to watch the A's be able to bounce back after a very, very tough start to this season, or excuse me, this series.
Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Nationals, brought to you by your Sacramento area Chevrolet dealers. It's Wood and Meade at the top of the order, then Chaparro, Abrams, and Cruz, followed by Ford, Lyle, Young, and Nasim Nunez.
And on the head side of that Southpaw Showdown is Jacob Lopez. Going to be the 12th start of the season for the left-hander. And Chris, he's making this start against a team that he has had some pretty good success against. Seen him one time. You go back to his outing against the Nats earlier in his career, 7 2/3 innings, just 3 hits, punched out 10. So would look for something similar to that. You take an outing just like that, but I think kind of mimicking what we saw from JT Ginn. Just give yourself a chance to get as deep into the game as you can, turn it over to the bullpen, and hopefully walk away with a W.
A's defense was excellent last night. We'll see if that carries over today. Soderstrom left, Bolte in center after a day off last night. Thomas in right, Kuroda Grauer third, Tommy White making his second career start. Wilson and Williams up the middle for Heim behind the plate. And the quick working Lopez misses inside, and we are underway at 106. James Wood, who is 1 for 9 in the series with 7 strikeouts. A's pitching have done well to isolate Wood in this series. He has been a tough out his entire season. 275, 28 home runs and 66 RBIs. 372 in the month of July. One pitch, a swing and a miss, 1-2. Umpiring crew. See if Jacob Metz takes a look at the man in the on-deck circle plus. Sean Barber at first, John Lipka at second, and James Hoy, the crew chief, is at third. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. That's how Lopez will start, striking out James Wood, and Curtis Meade comes up.
Man behind the plate this afternoon in the series finale, Jacob Metz calling balls and strikes. His father Larry is a longtime youth soccer referee. That's up in Seattle. I'm sure he's enjoyed the World Cup, which has the championship game going on right now. Inconsistent zone when it comes to balls and strikes, which has led to a 61% overturn rate regarding the challenges. And for context, MLB average overturn rate is about 53%. So you can see the difference for Metz.
Meade 4 for 8 on the series, has 3 doubles, 3 RBIs, and 4 runs scored. But Lopez really favoring that slider early against the first 2 Nationals hitters. Oh-2. Stuck with it, slow and inside.
I think what we're seeing right now from Lopez is some rhythm. Like the rhythm. Get it and go. Have a game plan. Go attack.
His 1-2 pitch. He's like to challenge hitters up and away with that high fastball. That missed the spot.
And I think out of the hand, it feels like that ball is going to stay true, but then it just kind of ends up taking off, riding up out of the zone.
2-2 pitch. Too far in with the slider. 3 balls and 2 strikes. For Lopez, it's been an interesting year. You know, started in the rotation, then bumped to the bullpen, then got sent down, worked his way back into favor with the big league club, started back up with the bullpen, and now getting an opportunity to start again, considering all of the hits the starting rotation has taken this year. 3-2, and he lost him. So Meade walks. And up comes Andres Chaparro, who had a career night 2 nights ago. Dallas.
Yeah, it was an offensive explosion for the Nationals, and Chaparro right in the middle of it. We started the ball game in his at bat, really talking about the display he put on in batting practice, and he kind of picked up right where he left off. Had himself a 4-hit night, a couple of homers. Ooh, tough pitch.
This is a player in Chaparro that was in the Arizona farm system. Played 8 minor league seasons with the Diamondbacks minor league affiliates and then found his way to Washington, and they're giving him an opportunity to showcase his talent yet again. And Washington has done this, especially the first base spot. Chaparro, a little bit older, but still a guy with plenty of thump. Another guy that comes to mind, Joey Meneses, who was recently DFA'd by the Athletics. That won't do. 3 balls and no strikes.
I think anytime you're able to create a mix with youth and veteran experience, and when I say veteran experience, it doesn't necessarily have to mean veteran big league experience, but a player who's kind of been around the block and has put the time in the minor leagues, getting an opportunity in the big leagues. I think there's something that comes along with that.
And depending on how the Nationals decide to play this by the trade deadline, Chaparro may be getting a whole lot more playing time.
Sure.
At first base. 3-1. Meade is going. Swing and miss. Throw down from high. It's a strike to second. But Alika's tag is late.
Well, you see where Alika had to go up and reach for this. And I think that's the difference. You know, if the ball is maybe a little further down in the tag zone, you have a chance. Meade doing a good job going early.
3-2. And that's called for strike 3 at the bottom of the strike zone and out for the moment, but Chaparro's going to deploy a challenge. ABS is powered by T-Mobile.
Very close. Oh.
And instead it's ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Lopez brings up C.J. Abrams.
Washington retains challenge.
A tough challenge there for Lopez and the Athletics.
C.J. Abrams 2 for 9 this series with a double. .341 with runners in scoring position this year. He leads Major League shortstops in the home run category and the RBI category. First pitch strike on a sinker, 0-1. Well, one of the reasons that Jacob Lopez was sent down earlier in the season was just the high walk rate. Has 2 walks in the early going here, Dallas.
Well, it's tough for guys, I think even specifically so with the Athletics, knowing where you go back down and try to get work in and try to refine things at the AAA level, being that ballpark in Las Vegas, and how tough it can be to convince guys to try to fill up the strike zone there, because even if you do get weak contact at times, if it's weak contact in the air, you can still pay the price for that. But I think at some point in time, you just have to understand that throwing strikes and being able to attack the zone, that's what you're looking to refine.
It's popped up and out of play.
And it's almost like you just got to be okay with understanding I'm going to give up some hits. It's going to happen. But if I'm in the strike zone consistently, now I'm giving myself a chance to work ahead, and I'm giving myself a chance to get some of that weaker contact with count leverage.
1-2 pitch. Oh, wave and a miss. The slider does Abrams in, and 2 are retired.
Well, slider's got some finish on it here in the early go. Just able to slow the left-hander Abrams down, get him to run out of baseball bat. Both lefties Lopez has seen have gone down by way of the slider. Lefty's hitting .250 against Jacob Lopez, as opposed to the right-handers hitting .310.
Dylan Cruz is up. He's higher in the order as compared to last night where he batted ninth. He bats fifth today. .333 hitter against lefties in a small sample size this year for the Nationals. It's inside, 1 ball and 1 strike.
That's kind of where he's found himself against left-handers, is more towards the middle of the lineup.
Meade at second, Chaparro at first. That slider is looking good. Lots of movement.
Well, he's throwing it for strikes. He's competing with it in the strike zone, and he's done a nice job of being able to expand the zone with it early. We call it stretching the zone, and you can stretch it horizontally, you can stretch it vertically. And that sweeper right now doing a good job of going west to east.
See what he has at 1 and 2. It's softly hit, shallow center. Bolte coming in, and he will make the catch, trotting in for the final out of the top of the first. Scoreless first for Lopez. We'll see the A's bats for the first time up next. The A's starting lineup is brought to you by your Sacramento area Chevrolet dealers. With no score, this is how they will look. Wilson leads off again today. You see at the bottom of the order the youth movement: Kuroda, Grauer, Thomas, White, Bolte, and Williams for the A's.
And the tail side of the Southpaw Showdown this Sunday, Foster Griffin, 20th start of the season for the left-hander, the rookie left-hander, Chris, believe it or not. 2.77 ERA, just a hair over 110 innings under his belt so far. And this guy has done a fantastic job here, especially as of late, of, I think, differing the pitch mix. He's been able to keep his opponents off balance and guessing. He's got a deep arsenal that creates a level of unpredictability for him that he's able to take advantage of. He has been just fantastic, especially over his last 7 starts.
This is a player that will entrust this defense behind him. Lyle in left, Young in center, Cruz in right, Meade and Chaparro on the corners, Abram and Nunez up the middle, Abrams, excuse me, and Harry Ford behind the plate. 2 balls and a strike. Wilson will drop that into right field, the leadoff knock. He just continues to hit, Dallas.
Well, that's what Jay Willie does, the wizard with the wand. Time now for StatCast, powered by Google Cloud. We're going to take a peek at the toolbox, and it is a deep one for Foster Griffin. You got the 3-headed fastball monster with the cutter, the 4-seamer, and the sinker down there at the bottom. You got the splitter and the changeup, some off speed, and then you got the breaking balls, the curveball and the sweeper. And Chris, he is very, very tough on left-handers specifically. It has been just a mighty, mighty task trying to get the bat to the ball for left-handers against Foster Griffin. Lefties hitting just 149, 37 strikeouts to 6 walks. And quickly 0-2 here to Tyler Soderstrom.
This is a former first-round pick by the Royals, and Griffin all the way back in 2014 out of the First Academy in Orlando, Florida, where he grew up. Came onto the scene in 2020 and a year in the minors, back in 2022 with the Royals.
Take you back to last night. Sodi left the building. Pitch up and in, he was able to turn on. Whole lot of offense last night from the Athletics.
2 homers in his last 2 games. A ground ball to second. Nunez quick turn to Abrams on to first. A 4-6-3 double play. And Griffin gets 2 for the price of 1, bringing up Langoliers.
Tell you, good job by Nunez to hang in there. This is a tough hop that he just gathers in the breadbasket. Slings it over to C.J. Abrams. We've talked about both guys in their throwing arm. And C.J. with a hose, able to complete that 4-6-3.
Shea Langoliers takes a strike, 0-1. He's on a 3-game hitting streak and batting third because he has demolished left-handed pitching this year. .330 against the Southpaws. It had been 4 years since Griffin had put on a big league uniform before the start of this season.
Well, he was slicing and dicing in the Nippon League, the Yomiuri Giants.
3 years there.
And a great 3 years, Chris. 18-10, 2.57 ERA, 315 and 2/3 innings, 318 punch outs, a whip of 1.03.
Well, his last year with the Giants in Yomiuri in Tokyo, 14 appearances, 6-1 record, 1.62 ERA, 77 strikeouts over 78 innings, and he was named an NPB All-Star. Well, a Major League All-Star this year. And he'll get a ground ball to second. Nunez again slings to first, and that will retire the side. So Griffin faces the minimum. There is no score going to second.
It's the summer sales.
Time now for Wire Cam, brought to you by Defy. Beautiful afternoon. Beautiful getaway day here in West Sacramento. Be nice to put a bow on a series with a W. Get on the bird, head to the desert with a smile on the faces of these boys in the green and gold. After a much needed home series victory, Chris, something we have talked a lot about. And I think even specifically so during this skid. You look to get back home, you want to perform well at home. And the point we're making is it's kind of been of a hurdle that hasn't really been cleared here as of late for this group.
Oh, but they reminded themselves who they can be last night. 15-1 victory. Pitching was on point. Hitting was certainly very real.
Well, sometimes it's the struggles that you can point to why it's happening, and then it feels like after a certain point it's just tough to explain. It's just moments and you know, runs that you have to go through. And I think the same can be said for when you're having success and you find yourself on a 10-12 or like the Red Sox en route to a 13-game winning streak. Sometimes it's just a matter of everything clicking, and there's really no other deeper explanation for it.
1-2, softly hit up the middle, rounding it is Williams, throws to first. Nice play up the middle by the second baseman.
Well, this ball off the fists, and you can see it start to turn back just a bit towards Alika Williams, who does a fantastic job of getting around it. You'd hope the ball wasn't going to hit the bag at second. It did not, but credit to Jacob Lopez for being able to get in off the barrel.
Here's Lyle, and he fouls it away. So it's a getaway day today. Dallas, do you have a getaway day routine? Do you pack after the game, the night game before the game, or do you pack in the morning?
I pack in the night. Pack at night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same here.
Try to maximize the time you have before you leave that next morning. Just kind of buttoning things up around the house.
That's my understanding. You did some gardening this morning.
I did. Forgot to button one last thing up. Not proud of it. But plants have plenty of water.
Lyle hits it high in the air to right. Thomas didn't find it initially. I think he's got a beat on it now and makes the catch. And plenty of time to find the baseball in the sky. And 2 are away for Lopez.
Well, a little easier sky to contend with here this afternoon. You've got a smattering of clouds to add some depth. Bright sky. You know, it's tough at night. The lighting very different than any other ballpark these guys are going to play in. And when you have that sort of gray backdrop to try to find a gray baseball in, I mean, that ball can disappear right off the bat.
Jacob Young is up. He had the night off last night as Cruz played center field. 1 for 4 on the series, 224 on the season. He shows bunt, lays it down. Lopez quick to get it, throws to first, and that will retire the side. Much quicker inning in 1-2-3 fashion for Jacob Lopez.
The ultimate goal of an MLB fan? Seeing it all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list. Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. That's right, all 30. MLB.com/Journey to 30 sweeps.
It's a fun thing that Major League Baseball is doing. You know what else is fun? Dippin' Dots on a hot Sunday.
Huge fan of Dippin' Dots.
Jonah Heim on a hop to the shortstop. Abrams backhands, throws to first, and one is away. More of a cookies and cream guy, or
a big rainbow guy.
Rainbow guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I pegged you as that.
Yep.
Well, one's got a cookies and cream, and one's got a rainbow.
Yeah, I think cookies and cream. Again, not necessarily a huge ice cream guy during the day.
No, same.
Or during the hot day, more of a popsicle guy.
Is that a michelada?
Michelada. I like a lot of micheladas.
Never had a michelada before.
Oh man, Chris, you are missing out. That was one of my favorite things about heading home after a ball game from the Coliseum on the BART ramp. Guys would be offering those up. Oh.
0-2, Kuroda Grauer sends it to center. Young makes the catch.
Yeah, nice cold michelada.
Street meat.
With some tahini on the rim. Oh. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll be headed somewhere to get one post game.
You know what?
That's your golden choice, though, is the lemonade.
The lemonade. And I think I'm ready to declare, I think I'm ready to proclaim lemonade as the go-to non-alcoholic summer beverage. Vaulted over iced tea.
Thomas cracks that to left. It'll get down for a base hit. Able to turn around that pitch.
Well, as we know, Colby Thomas sees it well against the Southpaws. Catches a little wrinkle here, able to go down and scoop it. Little top spinner out to left. Something we saw the Nats do in game 1, which you'd like to see the Athletics be able to do. And we saw a little bit of it last night, but with 2 outs, keep that line moving. It'll be up to Tommy White. Made his debut on Friday, 1 for 4 with that double late in the ball game.
0-1, he'll swing, and he's late on a cutter. 0-2. This is a player in white who batted .376 against left-handed pitching in minor league baseball this year. So there's a big reason why he's in the order today. Let's go back to that double, Dallas. What'd you see?
Well, I think what you see is Tommy White doing a nice job of going down and getting a pitch at the bottom of the strike zone. I think at times you'll see guys maybe a little further out on their front side.
Round this to third on a couple of hops. The throw from Meade is there, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit, no errors, 1 left on base, no score. Let's head to third. A's Baseball is brought to you by Jeep. There's only one. Gorgeous day again. We've said that a lot this year. We are so lucky to get the weather that we have this summer in West Sac. First pitch strike to Nasim Nunez. No score here. Nunez, the switch hitter, 246, a home run, 28 RBIs, 341 over his last 30. He's hit the ball very well for the Nationals. Pop that back foul, out of play. For the Nationals, getting a little bit closer to the batter's box.
James Wood's starting to creep. I mean, he's about a step and a half based on his stride away from home plate at this point. But I mean, that is nothing compared to where we're going to see Curtis Mead. But the idea is, if you're James Wood, you're a left-handed hitter, you're getting a lot of free peeks here at Jacob Lopez. And I think any hitter will tell you, look, as many opportunities as I get to see live pitching, or I get to see a guy, I'd like to take it, which is why the Traject machine is such a valuable tool.
Popped up, and that will spill into the seats.
And if you're unfamiliar with the Traject system, it's a system where, think about going to the coolest batting cage you've ever been to, but let's say you want to face Jacob Lopez, or you want to face Foster Griffin. You can punch in all of their data, and right out of the same slot, you will get in real time the same stuff that those guys throw.
That's into left, it's a base hit. Leadoff single for Nasim Nunez. Well, up comes Wood. That means Mead is in the on-deck circle-ish.
Well, slider that Nunez, you see him pull the hands in. That's an exceptional job of getting the bat to the baseball there by Nunez. I mean, that's that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't really know what to say to that. I mean, that's what I've noticed is there's a bit of a trend, Dallas. Everybody that gets that close here in West Sac, they're all infielders. Correa did it. J.J. Weatherholt did it. Anthony Volpe did it. Now Curtis Mead might be the most egregious out of all of them. Runner is going. Throw down from Heim is going to be late. Nasim Nunez steals second base, and he's in scoring position for Wood and company.
Well, and right now for Jacob Lopez, you got to try to mix up the holds, mix up the looks over there at first base. Jonah Heim, not much of an opportunity down there at second base.
Most recent one that we saw in terms of the free peaks was Weatherholt here, the Cardinals. And he was very close to the plate, Dallas. I know you remember that.
Yeah, he was very close as well. And I'm not quite sure if he's closer or if Curtis Mead is closer. It feels like Mead is the closest we've seen.
Yes. And I mean, is there anything that you can say as a catcher, as the umpires, are they supposed to notice that? I mean, he's even closer now.
Well, I'll be honest, if I was a member of the staff down there for the Athletics, this is something that I would be paying attention to every single hitter, every team. And I know it might seem minimal, as we're going to have an ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile here from Jonah Heim.
Catcher's challenging to call the ball.
He liked the pitch.
The pitch is a strike. The Athletics have 2 charges remaining.
And that'll be all for James Wood.
It's the 9th time Wood has struck out in this series. He's just not been able to figure it out against the A's up to this point. We'll see if Curtis Mead will benefit this time from the free peaks. I mean, what this creates too is guys coming up behind Mead. Even Chaparro is a little bit closer now.
Sure, well, you just, again, not to belabor the point, but if you can get as close and you can get as many looks at the pitcher from, a release point perspective, you just see the action on the baseball. You know, if I were to ask you, do you want to take an at-bat against a guy having seen none of his pitches, or would you like to take an at-bat having seen 10 of his pitches? What would you take? So I think I know your answer.
Nunez is going. Throw down from Heim is late again. Lopez a little slower to the plate that time, and it was such a good jump. Mead backed out of the way.
Well, it's a big leg kick, and Mead saying, I don't even want to run the risk of wearing one in the helmet or anything here. I'm just going to back out. And with Nunez able to pick up another extra 90 feet, that'll bring the infield in, trying to cut that runoff.
1-1 pitch, line drive, foul. Nasim Nunez has done so much for this team defensively. The offensive numbers are increasing, but maybe his biggest attribute is his ability to swipe bases. 37 stolen bases this year, 7 more than what will be a perennial all-star in Bobby Witt Jr., who has 30.
Well, Curtis Mead had himself a ball game on Friday. 4-hit night for the man at the hot corner. 3 extra base hits, all 3 doubles. Quite a show he put on. It was quite a show offensively for the entire Nats team.
High chopper. Wilson will have one play to first. What a play by the shortstop. It will score the first run for the Nationals. But with Wilson playing in, he had to leap and then deliver an off-balance throw to first to get the out at first base for the second out of the inning.
Well, and a great reaction there by Nunez to be able to read the ball up in the air. You know, at contact, you want to see if that ball is going to be hit on a low liner right at an infielder, and maybe, just maybe, even if you're moving on contact, which you likely are, you have an opportunity to shut it down. But with that ball bouncing up in front of home plate, Nunez with a great read, but Jacob Wilson a fantastic play to be able to make sure and get at least the out over at first base. Watch Nunez here at third base. Ball down, high hop, he's gone. Wilson knows he's got no shot at home, but still able to get the runner at first. Jacob Wilson continues to flash the leather. 98-game errorless streak. Starting to knock on the door of Ray Ordonez and Mike Bordick.
1-2, a swing and a miss on a slider. Chaparro is down on strikes, but the Nationals do score first and lead 1-0 with Bolte coming up for the A's. Funny or trending, it's on TikTok. Get exclusive athletics content by following us at NBC Sports Authentic. 1-0 Nationals. Bolte swinging on the first pitch. 2-hop chopper, throw to first, 1 away. Quick out for Foster Griffin. You're talking about his time in Nippon leagues and then joins the Washington Nationals. Becomes an all-star. And we're seeing more and more guys go over there to not only Japan, but pitchers in Korea as well. Maybe to refine some of the things they couldn't do at the big league level because of the immediate need for major league quality command.
Well, look at what he has parlayed that time into, right? His last 10 starts, 6-0, 2.12 ERA. I mentioned the work he's done over the last 7 starts, Chris. 1.25 ERA, opponents hitting 189. Again, what we're showing you there over his last 10, 60 punch-outs to 8 walks in 59 1/3 innings over his last 10 starts. That is just phenomenal.
Three balls and no strikes to Alika. 3-1. With Kuroda Grauer coming up the way that he has, making the impact like he has. Alika's starts have been fewer and further between, but he gets to start at second base today. No hits in his last 15, but a .282 hitter against lefties this year, so Alika slots in nicely for Marcotte. 3-2, he lifts that to right field. Cruz on the move, twisting and turning. He's not going to get there, and it bounces off of the wall. Alika into second base, standing up, and opposite field double for Williams.
I think like Cruz and the Nationals, maybe just not quite the respect for Alika Williams, and you can understand why. Maybe not a guy who's going to overpower the baseball, and I think even specifically so towards the opposite field, but Cruz tried a little hip swivel to no avail. Alika's got himself a one-out double.
Wilson will take a first pitch curveball, 0-1. 5 for 10 this series after the leadoff single in the first. Average now up to 291. Now on a 7-game hitting streak. 304 over his last 15. I mean, you can't say enough about what Wilson's been able to do. But he'll ground out to his counterpart in Abrams at shortstop. 2 away, but Alika does advance to third, bringing up Soderstrom.
Excuse me, Chris, and I think you saw Foster Griffin take notes that, look, Jacob Wilson has been very aggressive this series, especially on the first pitch. I don't want to just lay in a fastball and let him find a hole. If he wants to offer at a first pitch breaking ball, so be it. You know, this is, again, where Foster Griffin has been just utterly dominant against lefties. I mean, there was a 3-start stretch for Foster Griffin, April 26th to May 8th. Every lefty he faced, 1 for 20. 1 for 20. 6 punch outs, just 3 walks. And last night, you see that statistic, I think, has told the story. Previous 7 games, 5 for 50 with runners in scoring position. Last night, 6 for 13.
Everything was much better last night.
Well, that's why I say sometimes it's just tough to put your finger on it, right? The quality of the at-bat.
3-1. That's a base hit into right to tie the game at 1-1. Soderstrom wins that lefty-lefty battle, and an RBI single, his 47th run batted into the year. And we are all knotted up at 1.
And this is a prime example. We've just highlighted how tough Foster Griffin has been against left-handed hitting. And what does Tyler Soderstrom do? He steps up, finds a hole, and all the numbers would tell you that the likelihood of success in that instance heavily favor Foster Griffin and the Nationals. And instead, it's Tyler Soderstrom, pretty good hitter all around, was able to flip that narrative on its head and find a hole, put the A's on the board.
Here's Shea now, who grounded out to second. Well, this is something I know you love, Dallas. It's backyard baseball day at the ballpark. Shea has his own backyard character.
Love it.
Off the end of the bat. Deep in the hole, it's short. Abrams trying to make a play on it. That would have been a tough play regardless, considering Langoliers' speed, but he will reach with 2 outs and set up Jonah Heim. Runners on first and second.
And now here you go. With 2 outs, you've been able to keep the inning moving. And if nothing else, what this does is it gives the lineup, it gives everybody here just an extra shot at getting another at-bat, getting another look, not only at Griffin, but again, getting into a bullpen that has struggled for the Nationals is always beneficial.
Couple of 2-out hits, another thing you love to see. Marcotte said in the post-game interviews last night the team showed a lot of fight. Well, 2-out hitting is a smaller example of that fight that we got to experience in the 15-1 victory, and a fight that we have seen at certain points in the season. A lot of come from behind victories, a lot of two-out rallies this team has put together, a lot of two-out rallies against some very quality pitching at this ballpark and on the road, of course. Griffin now no exception.
Well, it feels like the A's at times, and we saw it last year, almost get a sense of rising to the occasion when they know they've got a tough customer that they're squaring off against on the mound. You see the intensity and the attention to the at-bat kind of ratchet up a notch. So now you see with a couple base runners and the inning extending here for Griffin, start to lose command a bit. Some stressful pitches.
3 balls and a strike. Broken bat, ground ball. Meade races to third. He'll take it himself, and that will retire the side. But the A's tie the game with an RBI single from Soderstrom, 1-1.
Celebrate over a century of legendary baseball history. You can be there early on Wednesday, August 12th to secure a premium piece of the A's legacy with a limited edition 125th anniversary coin giveaway set, complete with a custom display case. This is a must-have keepsake for every true collector and A's fan. Lock in your tickets today at athletics.com/promotions.
So we go to the top of the 4th inning. Tied ball game at 1 apiece. Chris Carey, Dallas Braden. Fantastic NBC Sports California crew. C.J. Abrams is up for a second time. He struck out swinging against Lopez back in the first. A sidewinding slider evens the count at 1-1. Well, after this, the Nationals head to Colorado to face the Rockies. So another ballpark that favors the offense. One-two fastball called, strike 3. Abrams is going to challenge.
Ooh, I'm not sure Abrams is going to like what he sees. I mean, that looked like a pretty good pitch. You got to remember, Jacob Lopez got good life on the fastball.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. It is a strikeout.
Hee-ha!
Number 5 strikeouts for Lopez. 2 of them have come to Wood, 2 of them have come to Abrams, the All-Stars.
Well, and 2 out of the 3 lefties in this lineup. And if you were going to neutralize a couple of left-handers in this lineup, those would be the 2.
Now Heim's going to challenge here, and I think that he might like the result.
Catcher challenging to call the ball.
ABS powered by T-Mobile.
Oh, yeah.
That's well in the strike zone.
Pitch to strike. The Athletics have 2 challenges remaining.
You'll remember 61% overturn rate for Jacob Metz. Average across the big leagues for umpires 53%. Ow. No need to challenge that one. Squared him up, coach. Nothing doing here, just a slider that catches the quadricep. Didn't feel great.
Harry Ford grounded out to second base, his first time up. And he'll take strike 1. As we said, the Nationals continuing their road trip to Colorado. The A's will begin a road trip after the conclusion of this game. Lopez getting the sign.
Pay attention to Cruz. There you go.
Lefty all over it.
There are the Nats. Lead Major League Baseball in stolen bases. 108 now.
Second disengagement. And some very big score lines today. Biggest of the day, 16-2. The Padres are leading the Royals right now in the 9th inning on the road in Kansas City. Off the plate. There's a 10-1 finish in Chicago against the Minnesota Twins. Well, they're in the top of the 9th, but it looks to be a 10-1 finish. 9-3, the Reds over the Rockies in Colorado. Offense bursting in the second half. And now Heim will challenge again at the bottom rung of the strike zone. 3-1 for the moment.
Challenging the called ball.
Heim shaking his head. ABS is powered by T-Mobile. And this one's going to be low.
Call confirmed pitch the ball. The Athletics have 1 challenge remaining.
So it is 3-1. Jacob Metz got that one right. And Ford in a very hitter-friendly count.
Yeah, he's got leverage here. Lopez has to make a pitch.
See what Cruz decides to do. He's shaking off of first. He'll stay put. 3-1. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. 3-2.
There's a quick check by Jonah Heim. And I think you'll see here from the side, Ford fully committed. Yeah, it's a good call down there by Sean Barber.
Three and two. Ford drives that to left center. On the move, Soderstrom. He's still moving. He reaches out and it clips off of his glove. Cruz being waved home. He's going to score. And Harry Ford gives the Nationals their lead again. An RBI double, scoring the speedy Cruz all the way from first base.
Well, it was going to be close off the bat, just watching the jump that Soderstrom got, whether or not he was going to be able to close the distance, and I think he did for the most part. Unfortunately, ball looked like it was just off the glove of Soderstrom. Here's a good peek at it here. Just off the tip of the glove.
Dalen Lyle now.
He had to move a ways for it, but I think Sodi will tell you. Should have had that one.
He's made so many great plays in the alley, plays that you don't think that
he has.
A left fielder would be able to make, but it's the reads off the bat that are the most impressive. Especially for a guy that was never an outfielder until last year, where he ended up being a Gold Glove finalist.
Well, and what makes him a weapon out in left field, I think that's something that goes overlooked. And I've talked about his quick release, but the throwing arm as well. And I think when you combine those two as an outfielder, sometimes that goes overlooked. But we've watched Sodi make great plays ranging towards the line, and the fact that he's had to learn to play the outfield in a ballpark that plays very differently than every other ballpark he plays in. Also something I don't think is given enough credit. You know, but sometimes as an outfielder, tracking a ball like that where you have to run a long way, you start to get a little heavy-footed, and when you do that, the ball starts to bounce, meaning your head starts to bounce, your eyes start to move, and that baseball starts to move a little.
1-2, swing and a miss. Well done by Lopez. Strikeout to respond to the RBI double.
I mean, it is such a difficult at-bat left on left against Jacob Lopez. You know, it's cross-body. It feels like it's coming out of right field behind you.
been a while since the A's played in a domed environment. Now that I think about it, you talk about playing here and playing defense in the outfield here, and then you go straight to a domed environment in Arizona. It's something the A's will have to get used to the next 2 years.
Well, I think in terms of getting used to it, when you play in the big leagues consistently and you play in a big league ballpark consistently, it's something that you are used to. This is honestly, and I think maybe specifically so for the Athletics because they spend half their games here, it's understood that it could be a tough adjustment back and forth. But for the most part, playing indoors, you're talking about a controlled environment in every way. So you get the truest ball flight. The baseball behaves at its truest level, not impacted by wind, by humidity.
One and two to Young. Not hit him. Marcotte's got his hand up. If it hit him, it must have only grazed him.
Well, let's take a peek here. Yep, right on that right shin. That'll bring out Dan Hubbs. This meeting on the mound brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price. I think right now, good meeting here. You want to make sure that you just kind of slow things down. Jacob Lopez has been outstanding with the slider. I think in a moment like that where you throw the pitch that's been working for you the best this afternoon and you end up clipping a guy, you just kind of want to give him a chance to reset here. Nunez is a guy who, in his first at bat, Chris, it was the slider that he was able to pull the hands in on and get his hit on. And whether it's a reminder of that or just allowing Jacob Lopez to do what he just did, take a deep breath. Remember, hey, we got 2 outs. Let's go get the man at the plate right now, and we'll deal with James Wood when we start the top of the 5th. Kotze talking to his backstop, Shea Langoliers and Nick Kurtz.
His 2 All-Stars.
That's it.
Hope to see Kurtz back sooner rather than later. Hope is that many of these guys that are on the injured list are starting to ramp up their progressions in their respective places. Severino, Denzel Clark, Zach Geloff. That one's in the air to right. Thomas broke back, now drifts in and makes the catch. Washington takes their lead back and lead 2-1.
Welcome back. Built for the big moment by your Sacramento area Chevy dealers. JT Ginn last night, dude, was on a mission. Had a no-no working through 7. Into the 7th, 6 in the 3rd. Finally gave up the first hit, and that was it. A few walks, 7 punch-outs. He was magnificent. It's now the 2nd time we've watched JT Ginn take a no-hitter deep into the ball game. I think slowly but surely what you're watching with JT Ginn unfold is a guy who's really starting to understand how to navigate lineups in certain game situations, identifying what's working for him in the moment, and I think building the confidence that allows you, even when you have a game plan, Chris, and you go out there and you want to stick to the game plan as much as you can, there's going to be days where you just don't have certain things. And there's going to be days where you're really starting to feel some things. And what you feel might even fly in the face of what the scouting report says, maybe what a guy does well. But you say to yourself, I'm pretty good right now. And this is feeling really good right now for me. So this is what we're going to stick with. And I think JT Ginn is gaining more and more confidence in that. And it is really starting to show. It has been very impressive to watch the growth and the maturation of JT.
Changeup was on its best behavior last night. I know you love watching that, and his ability to trust that pitch. Something you talked about a good bit. It was that if he failed once, he was okay going back to it, and then he was okay going back to it a third time if necessary. Now Kuroda Grauer lifts it in the air to left. Lyle on the move makes the catch. One away.
Well, and it's a pitch, the changeup specifically, where you have to get comfortable with the idea that it might not be the big swing and miss pitch that you want it to be right out of the gate. And you might even have to get comfortable with the contact and giving up hits on it. And I think from there you start to understand what kind of weapon it can become for you, knowing that it does open up the rest of your arsenal. And when you watch young pitchers go through that transition phase of learning how to throw it, getting comfortable with it, learning how to pitch with it.
Off the end of the bat, Chaparro will take it himself for the second out. Now we'll hear a word from Tri-Counties Bank.
We've been providing big bank lending power and high-tech service throughout California for over 50 years. But we're still the locals down the street, no matter where your street may be. Tri-Counties Bank, California's local bank.
So with 2 outs and nobody aboard, it's Tommy White, who grounded out to third, his first and only time up. He'll swing on the first pitch, a bouncing ball to second. Nunez will throw to first. A 9-pitch inning for Foster Griffin, and the Nationals keep their 1-run lead. With over 100 new articles posted every week, the go-to source for all of your favorite teams is still NBCSportsCalifornia.com. 2-1 the Nationals lead, top of the 5th inning. It's James Wood, who has struck out twice against Lopez, up again for a third time. 1-0 on a breaking ball inside. With all of the pre-arbitration extensions that are handed out to these superstar young players, Nationals are going to have to pay a lot of money to keep this guy in control if they want to extend him beyond his team control years.
Well, I think as folks are finding out, left-handed, premium type power, first base type presence, gonna cost you.
Breaking ball in, 3-1.
It's not cheap, and I think the fact that, you know, James Wood, a guy that many would like to start their franchise with. Look
Line
out.
drive caught by Wilson. Positioned perfectly, and one is away.
Well, Lopez almost lost his lid. He'll live to see another day. Watch your lips, Lopey. That'll be it for Jacob Lopez as Mark Kotze has gone to the bullpen. It'll be Elvis Alvarado against Curtis Mead when we come back. Welcome back. This high roller is brought to you by Circa Resort and Casino. 4 2 hits, 2 runs pushed across, couple walks, 6 punch outs for the left-hander Jacob Lopez. Able to navigate his way through a Nats lineup that we have seen do some damage here in this series. Quieted last night. Jacob Lopez doing a nice job of kind of continuing what JT Ginn had laid down in yesterday's affair. I'm going to turn things over now to big right-hander Elvis Alvarado. 26th appearance for Elvis.
Dallas, I think Jacob Lopez working his way back to finer form. Looked a lot more like the Jacob Lopez we were used to seeing in 2025. He struck out a number of different hitters. He trusted his breaking ball against lefties well. Not super hard contact other than the Harry Ford double that was almost caught by Soderstrom. A job well done, I would say.
Well, I think for Jacob, what you saw was just a bit better command, you know, around the strike zone with a little more consistency. And that'll always be something when you've seen a guy go through some of the things that Jacob Lopez has endured, which is command issues, at times not throwing enough strikes, sometimes throwing too many strikes. You find yourself backing up a lot of bases for both reasons. And I think being able to compete in the zone, and it sounds like I'm a broken record at times, but it matters so much.
Chaparro 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout swinging. Alvarado walked the first man he saw on 4 pitches, now misses again, 1-0. This is going to be a fun division to watch for years to come, that National League East. There's a strike, the first one of Alvarado's outing. The Philadelphia Phillies, an older, more veteran team. I don't know how much they have in the minor leagues to sustain their success. I think their window is beginning to close.
Well, I think you can almost say the same thing about the Atlanta Braves. You know, they've got some young studs that are up and coming. Think about a guy like Drake Baldwin, who unfortunately has spent some time on the injured list this year. But, you know, even with the season that Matt Olson is having, not getting any younger, same thing can be said about Austin Riley. I mean, Ronald Acuna has endured his injuries.
Ozzie Albies, another guy.
I mean, great players. Don't get me wrong. Fantastic performers.
But if we're looking at a zoom out and see the course of 5 to 10 year setup, the Nationals are just beginning to be on that upward trend. So are the Miami Marlins.
Well, you've got a young team. I mean, think about the guys that are cornerstones of this franchise as we sit right now, and a guy like Abrams, a guy like Wood.
Weak tapper. Heim will go to first. 2 down. The Mets are an interesting mix. Don't really know how to describe what it will look like for them right now.
Well, there's a lot of questions on, you know, if and who ends up getting moved. And I think what's unfortunate for Mets fans is those conversations surround, you know, some guys that you would like to think would be leaders in that room.
Well, leadership's another big question too. Who's going to be in charge of orchestrating the Mets' success in the future? That one is crushed to center. Abrams is watching it. Bolte going back, and he goes as far as he could go. Now 4-1. C.J. Abrams' 21st home run of the year makes it a 3-run Nationals advantage.
Well, Chris, there's 99 outer third that Abrams just lets get deep and barrels to the big part of the yard. Nothing Bolte can do but watch it fly. And just as we're talking about cornerstone players, C.J. Abrams able to deliver for the Nats here. Create a little gap now between the Nationals and the Athletics.
C.J. Abrams initially a San Diego Padre. What a player he would have been for them. Now Cruz laces it to left. That's going to get out of the ballpark. Back-to-back homers for the Nationals, 5-1. So Cruz, who has pummeled left-handed pitching, gets a homer off of a righty, his 7th of the season. And the Nationals have a big inning here.
Well, slider, once again, that just kind of sits in the middle, right in the heart of the strike zone. Dylan Cruz able to stay back, put a very nice swing on a pitch and little topspin homer.
Ford has an RBI double. That gave the Nationals their lead back at 2-1. They've since scored 3 more this inning. And by the way, Dallas, all the runs coming with 2 outs. So Foster Griffin gets a good bit of run support after a 9-pitch inning last inning. But Ford is behind at 0-2. And now he gets hit.
Well, probably didn't feel great.
Out comes Dan Hubbs after this hit by pitch.
See if this catches him in the, right in the tricep. Thank goodness that pad's there.
That's why these guys wear the protective apparatuses. This meeting on the mound is brought to you by the injury attorneys of Ashton and Price.
Well, you can understand you got guys up there blowing 100 miles an hour. And if you're somebody who likes to hang around the inside part, maybe over the plate at times, trying to give yourself just a little bit more confidence to do so. Not saying that that's, the approach for Harry Ford, but that's just, and it comes along with it. I remember growing up watching, watching Barry Bonds, that big robotic elbow sleeve, essentially giving him the confidence to take away the inside part of the plate. You want to come in off the plate? Okay. Go ahead and hit me in this Kevlar protective gear.
Ford's breaking for second. Pitch is fouled away. Alvarado, you've talked about it before at times, a little slower delivery to the plate, and I think that's probably part of the scouting report that these guys picked up on.
Oh, 100%. I mean, if I'm Harry Ford, I'm going again. I mean, if you're Alvarado, you might check over here one time, give the courtesy look. If not, he's gone. Harry Ford actually hitting the brakes. With 2 outs, it may be just a matter of trying to give the man at the plate an opportunity to swing the bat.
There's the look, and Ford back in safely. It's a little closer to first, not taking a deep secondary lead against Alvarado. Pace off maybe a half step further with White holding him up. Stay put again, 1-1. Elevated fastball swung through and missed, 1-2.
Well, and you do your homework right. If you've got a guy who is going to take a while to get down the mound, and Alvarado really at his quickest about a 1-4. You don't have to get that big secondary. You can kind of shorten it up, but know that you're going to have a pretty good head start.
Popped up in foul ground. Kuroda Grauer surveying. Will he have room? He goes onto the tarp, colliding with the tarp, but it drops foul.
We see him kind of taking stock of where he's at, surveying the land, doing his level best to try to make a play on a ball that was very, very tough to get to.
This guy put his body out on the line last night, made a tremendous catch in shallow left. Did Kuroda Grauer, playing a lot of third base recently due to the need at that position. And at 1-2, Ford breaking for second again. Breaking ball, throw down to second, and Ford is safe. It was close, but Ford in safely for the moment, according to second base umpire John Libka.
Well, again, just not much of an opportunity for Heim to do anything. You can be as quick with you want as the feet. You can be as quick as you want on the transfer, have as good an arm as Jonah Heim does. But if you've got the head start that these Nats base runners have had this afternoon, really nullifies it all.
2-2. Hard shot on a hop. Wilson positioned perfectly. Loads up, throws to first, and that'll retire the side. But the Nationals score 3, including back-to-back home runs from Abrams and Cruz. It's 5-1. True baseball fans need Wi-Fi that's so reliable it never gets caught looking. Xfinity Internet keeps you in the game at one price for 5 years and allows you to get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity.
Imagine that.
Is that Pablo?
That is. And
that is not.
That's a rally cap. I like, never too early. I like it. Good vibes.
He's down by 4 in the bottom of the 5th. Foster Griffin now a bit of run support. It's Bolte coming up.
See if the A's can answer back here.
Bolte pops up a bunt. Foul.
I like it. You know, that's something that we haven't seen Henry Bolte do a ton of. And with his speed and maybe a bit of the struggle he's experienced here as of late, you wonder if that's something he starts to open up a little more. Curtis Mead going to retreat and go back towards the outfield grass.
We've been talking about Foster Griffin, and as you see, they got facial hair on each of these guys.
Carney-esque.
Yep. And how well he did in the NPB, especially that final year where he was an all-star. What is it about that league, especially for American players to go over there? Can you take us inside what you've heard, people's experiences, like the day in and day out of what it's like at the NPB, maybe the differences in the big leagues?
Well, I think first and foremost, the work, the running. You know, they'll tell you, buddy, you better get some track shoes because you're going to be moving a lot. The conditioning.
Bolte lines that one to center. That'll fall for a hit. So he'll put his running shoes on and get on first base, the leadoff single.
Well, good to see Bolte find a barrel here. Ball down to see Bolte head right on the baseball at the point of contact. And Young, no option but to just kind of body up and keep it in front. But Chris, you do have that extra day of rest that you're working with as well when it comes to taking your turn through the rotation. And I think maybe at times it's guys going over with just different looks in their arsenal, right? I mean, split heavy league over there, a lot of spin.
Leke hits it in the air to right. That's traveling back, but this time Cruz will put the squeeze on it, one away.
And I also think that, you know, there's a confidence factor for American-born pitchers to go over and really force the issue with the fastball, and specifically fastballs inside. I think when you go over there and you understand how much they spin the baseball, what can help the spin become an even bigger and better weapon for you is establishing presence on the inside part of the plate. And if that's not something that happens frequently, and you also have to think about the air of the unknown. And it's not to say that they don't understand who these guys are coming over, right? They had an idea of what Foster Griffin was bringing to the table, but until you see it firsthand and experience it, it's, you know, essentially a guessing game. You got to wait to get comfortable.
Well, for Wilson, he's looked comfortable at the plate today. A couple of early swings. Had a leadoff single in the first, grounded out to the shortstop Abrams in the third, and has Bolte speed at first in the fifth. He'll swing again, heads up.
That was right off the facing of the dugout, the very top. You wake in there.
Weekly grounded to short. Abrams will have one play to first. Polte to second, 2 away. By this point, 2 nights ago, the score was 8-2 Washington. They're up 5-1 today. And Dallas, it was 6-0 A's yesterday.
Well, Foster Griffin has been fairly economical in his outing today. Pitch number 66 on its way.
Soderstrom drove home Alika Williams back in the 3rd inning for the lone run of the game for the A's. Breaking ball outside, 2-0. Foul it back. Nationals in a position to gain a bit of ground in the National League East if they're able to take care of business today and then go to Colorado, who have struggled at home. A's will head on the road, of course, go to the Valley of the Sun against the Diamondbacks, who are, I wouldn't say chasing the Dodgers, but certainly in the mix for that wild card in the National League. They've had a lot of turnover as well. 2-2 check swing in the dirt. He did not go around. 3-2.
Yeah, I mean, look, as far as that NL West is concerned, Chris, the Diamondbacks are one of the other teams in that division.
Yes,
for sure. The Dodgers sit atop of that mountain. I mean, I believe it's the largest gap between the first and second place teams in baseball.
3-2. Soderstrom's called out on strikes. That'll retire the side. 5-1 Nationals through 5.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Law Tigers, Northern California's motorcycle lawyers at lawtigers.com.
Four-run lead for the Nationals, top of the 6th inning. I'll never tire of those looks of the Tower Bridge. I think the kids will never tire of taking pictures with the great Pablo Sanchez. Backyard baseball day at the ballpark. So many great promotions this year. Some free ice cream was given out before the game.
Yeah, missed that one.
Brady Basso in the game. Bouncing ball to third. Charging Kuroda Grau. Throw to first. Tommy White has to move off the bag. And that will be a leadoff base runner with the speed of Young, busting up the line.
Well, you appreciate the effort from Tommy White over there at first base to keep this ball in front of him. Ooh. Yeah, looks like if Tommy White would have been able to come up with that, I mean, tough throw. Might have had a shot.
Well, it has scored an E5 on Kuroda Grauer. Now Kuroda Grauer will play in with Nunez at the plate. Switch hitter will take up high. 1 for 2 with a single in the third. Scored a run. He's stolen 2 bases. Played good defense again. Swung through and missed. 1-1. Basso in his 6th appearance.
Basso, a guy that we have seen start some ball games. He's come out of the bullpen. And I think a guy who could maybe benefit from just finding the mindset and settling in to the role of what I call an out-getter. And I know you might think, well, Dallas, isn't that the job of everybody that pitches in the big leagues to get outs? Isn't everybody an out-getter? For sure. but in a bullpen where there haven't been definitively established roles. I think if you just go out there and you think about each and every pitch, each and every at-bat as an opportunity to buy yourself another out, another inning, you eventually start to work yourself into leverage situations, and it's because you've been an out-getter and you've done it consistently. And I think that comes from being able to find a mindset where you can treat a moment like this, where your team is down by 4, you're not up by 2 late in the game, but creating a mentality that says it's time to go attack. I smell blood in the water, and that blood is my opportunity to pitch my way into leverage situations, to be a guy that essentially establishes a role for myself. And so no longer, when the game is out of reach one way or the other, do they want to go to me. They want to go to me when the ball game is tight and the score needs to be kept right where it's at. And any time you're in the game when your team is down, of course you want to keep the game where it's at.
So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nunez. Young's going to go. Nunez is popping it up. Shallow right field. No one home. It's dropping fast, and Alika makes the catch. Nice play by Williams. Had to go a long way back into shallow right to make that catch.
Well, just watch the route here. You see where Alika is. He's getting to the bag. He's got to cover. Now, after a little slippage, heads all the way back over beyond his regular starting position and is able to come down with it. It was probably the only player that was going to have a shot at the play.
Young's going again. Breaking ball. Throw down to second is a dart, but it is dropped by Wilson. And in safely is Young.
Well, just a tough break. I feel like maybe finally an opportunity to get the throw down. I mean, that throw is on the money from Heim. And Jacob Wilson just unable to squeeze it and keep the ball in the glove. The applied tag sees that ball squirt out, and Young's got another bag. The Nationals have another 90 feet.
Wood 0 for 3. 1 for 12 on the series. Throw down to second. Wilson not home. You made a good point about James Wood. First baseman type of power. Is there a possibility well down the road that James Wood could be a first baseman for this team?
I think there's a very good possibility, you know, just provided some of the conversation that's happening around some other guys on this team, right? But that's what makes him special, is he's a great athlete. Guy you have no problem plugging out there in the outfield.
We've seen him DH twice and play the outfield once in this series. He's the DH of choice today. He's behind in the count at 1-2 against the lefty Basso. 1-2 pitch. Did he go? Yes, he did. Wow, he's out. James Hoy, the crew chief, waves the fist.
Well, another strikeout for James Wood in this series. That one very close. But that is 10 strikeouts this series, tied for most all time by an Athletics opponent in a 3-game series. Brian Dozier back in 2017 for the Minnesota Twins. And Chris, James Wood in all likelihood will get another at bat.
Young breaking for third, safely diving into third.
I tell you, it has just become a track meet for the Nationals on the base path this afternoon. I mean, it's just all the credit to Young there. Great read. I mean, Basso was just starting to turn his head, and Young got a great hop head start.
The runner's free to run, kind of like the Brewers. It reminds me a little bit of that club, where picking up on slower deliveries to the plate and taking advantage of the 90 feet where they can. Hit to third. Retreating Kuroda Grauer throws to first. Nice play by the third baseman. That will end the top of the sixth. 5-1 Nationals. Back to the A's bats up next. This upcoming schedule is brought to you by Service Champions. Well, after the game today, the A's will head down to Arizona to face the Diamondbacks Monday through Wednesday. An off day Thursday in Minneapolis. Then the Twins this coming weekend. Then back at home for 7 straight against the Red Sox for 4 and the Tigers for 3. Be a fun road trip, Arizona and Minnesota. Twins, another team that has been pretty surprising this year considering their young group. But they've hung in there in the American League Central, a division full of surprising teams. Lear's continuing to hit against lefties. Had a single and ups that average. Now he drives this to left center field. Lyle on the move. He's not going to get there. It's off the wall. And Shea has a multi-hit effort against Foster Griffin today.
Well, good start to the 6th inning here for the Athletics, who need to do what they can to try to get Foster Griffin out of this ball game. Langoliers just catches a pitch working its way down and in. Drops the head on it. Bangs a double off that left center field gap.
Now Jonah Heim on 2 hops. Curtis Mead shuffles, throws to first, and 1 is away. Now you've kept in tune with everything going around the league, but today, a day I know you smile about because you don't get to talk about it that much, is the complete game for Yoshinobu Yamamoto in New York today.
How about it? Yamamoto dealing, absolutely dealing. And in what is always, regardless of how good the team is, a tough place to play, tough place to pitch.
First Dodger since 2024 to toss a complete game in a regular season, of course. It's popped up. Abrams shading the sun with his right hand. He'll make the catch for the second out. With the Wake, Foster Griffin is moving at 77 pitches and 2 outs in the 6th. You could see him go much longer as well.
Sure.
9-pitch 4th inning, 2 innings ago. Faced 4 batters in the 5th, and this is the 4th batter to come up here in the 6th with 2 away, and Thomas will swing on the first pitch, fouling it off. Would you say the key to success for an opposing pitcher at this ballpark in specific is early contact?
I mean, that's a key to success for any pitcher, but I think it's also one layer deeper, which is weak contact, because it's one thing to fill up the strike zone and get early action, but if those balls continue to find holes, well, now you've got base runners, you're navigating traffic, your pitch count starts to increase, and that can be tough to contend with. But if you're working off the barrel and you're generating swing and miss, but you're getting early action, that's what helps minimize the pitch count. You get your defense involved, and it feels like everybody's winning.
Colby Thomas strikes out, and that will end the 6th. 5-1 Washington.
Get ready for an action-packed weekend against the Motor City Kitties. That's right, the Tigers come to town. You can join us Friday for Bravo Night, Saturday for Marvel Night featuring a Nick Kurtz poster, and Sunday for the Buildable Tower Bridge giveaway for the kiddos. Bring the energy to the ballpark all weekend long. Grab your seats now at athletics.com/tickets.
Basso back out for the 7th inning at a scoreless 6th inning of relief, and faces Andres Chaparro. Back up the middle, kicks off of Basso's foot, backhanded by Wilson, throws to first, and White with the tag. 1-6-3, good plays all around. Wilson had to course correct at the last second. Basso looks to be okay, and then White with the tag. Nice play by the A's infield.
Well, that's just how you draw it up. Nice gather from Basso, low cross over to Wilson. And a shot on goal over to Tommy White, who was able to finish it off. It was always going to be the defender's ball.
C.J. Abrams is up for a fourth time.
You never played FIFA?
I don't know what accent that was, but it wasn't right.
If you've ever played FIFA, video game, you know what that's from.
Plenty of times.
You might have to travel with the PS5.
Didn't know that you were a FIFA guy. This changes a lot of things for me.
Oh. Buddy, me and
Abrams lines it to right center field. That will find the alley. Bolte cuts it off. Standing up safely, C.J. Abrams. He started a fifth inning party, Dallas.
well, and that powerful performance is brought to you by Xfinity. C.J. Abrams to the big part of the yard. And then Dylan Cruz would follow up with a topspin liner over the left field wall for back-to-back jacks back in the fifth. And it was that fifth inning that really opened up the scoring to the point where we're at now. Nats with a 4-run lead here in the seventh.
Well, the scorers changed the sixth inning error off of Kuroda Grauer from Jacob Young to a single. So Basso has now allowed 2 hits in his outing after the C.J. Abrams double. 2-0 misses, 3 balls and no strikes. He will draw a 4-pitch walk, first and second with 1 out, and up comes Harry Ford.
Harry Ford.
I would imagine for Harry Ford, you know, all the hype around him, and Seattle didn't have the opportunity to really have much of a runway there. This is a new start for him with the Washington Nationals that didn't get Harry Ford really as the big-time minor league player, and now getting to make an impact with a big league club at a place where offenses have feasted, and he's looked good in his short sample size in the Nationals uniform.
And I think if the Nats are identifying a guy who can provide depth and maybe also be of impact later, then I think Harry Ford is in a great position for that to become the case.
Jeff Hartlieb is warming up in the bullpen for the A's. Basso dealing with some traffic. Ford 1 for 2. He was hit by a pitch last time up, but does have an RBI double. There's the strike. 0-2. Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did again.
Well, Harry Ford not pleased with the call down there at first base from from Sean Barber. Take a peek from the side.
Well, that's the second time on a check swing he has been told that he went around, this time resulting in a strikeout.
Number 4, David Lyon.
Barber, not much for a conversation on a Sunday afternoon.
Lyle 0 for 3. Backs out of the way of a sinker. 1 ball and no strikes. Lyle 3 for 12 with a home run on this series. Another young guy that's a part of this Nationals core that I think Blake Butera and company are very excited about his future in the Curly W.
I think this is one of the youngest, if not the youngest teams on average in baseball. The youngest. 27 years, 32 days average age of the roster. That is indeed the youngest in baseball, along with the youngest manager in baseball.
Lyle will strike out swinging, and the Nationals strand 2. We'll go to the 7th inning stretch with Tommy Tanks coming up.
Telecast is presented by authority of the Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the account and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics.
That was on this day in 2017. Trade deadline near. It was Sonny Gray's last home game with the Athletics. Gray would win his 3rd straight games, and of course the fans gave him a wonderful standing ovation when he was pulled from the game. He would only pitch 1 more game on the road before he was traded to the New York Yankees. Now he pitches for their bitter rival, the Boston Red Sox, who are surging right now in the American League East.
Unbelievable.
Just continuing to win. The Red Sox have to have an entirely different feeling about how their season is going over the last 15 games or so. Win after win after win. And it's with a group of young players as well.
I think old teammate of mine, Craig Breslow's got some decisions to make. Things are getting a little more interesting. Which route do you want to go? How do you want to go about it? I mean, just 2 weeks ago, I think you were starting to turn the Red Sox roster into a pick and pull. Who's going where? What do you think you can get for who? And now, a very different conversation. How do you want to reinforce this roster if that is indeed the route they decide to go? You know, and I think that's going to be a good example of a team making decisions that say, look, we think we're good as we are, and we find areas that, sure, we can be a little better in. Do we reinforce those? And at what cost, to what extent do we do so? Do we feel like we're a team who is, you know, are we in pursuit of the division? I don't know if that's necessarily the conversation. Is it being comfortable with the fact that you are very much a wild card contender, holding the 3rd wild card spot at this moment? You know, and that goes back to our conversation about what do we think is the hot ticket item come this time of year. Is it the position player pool? Is that where you're looking to create depth? Are you looking to create impact? Is Tommy White able to work a leadoff walk here in the 7th? Or are you looking to create impact, whether it's in the starting rotation or in the bullpen?
It'll be fun to see. I always love this time of year because teams that you expect to make moves sometimes don't. Sometimes teams that you don't expect to make any moves do. And that side of the game has always been fascinating to me, is the front office side, the peek behind the curtain that you get to see for a second of what the organizational plan might have been all year long. The team is performing, or for the Red Sox sake, thought they were going to be more competitive out of the gate. They weren't. Maybe they were going to be sellers, and now the way they're playing, maybe they turn into buyers at the last second. As Clayton Beater begins to warm up. On the ground to second, Nunez flips to second, Abrams to first. Bolte beats the wrap. And we'll hear a word from your Sacramento area Chevrolet dealers.
Well, it was a bang play at first. We know that Bolte can book it down the line. Chaparro with a good stretch, and I think, yep, Bajera says, let's take a peek. Nunez had to hang in on a hot shot right at him. Ooh.
Washington is challenging this safe call at first.
I mean, that's about as close as it gets. Man, if you see the ball get to the back of the glove, oof. I'm not sure if Bolte's foot has quite hit the bag by the time the ball got to the back of the glove.
Need clear and conclusive evidence to overturn. It is very close, but a strong throw from Abrams that was on target, and a good stretch by Chaparro makes this a lot closer than we initially thought.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the impact of the foot on the bag, and I wonder if Chaparro didn't already have the ball in the back of the glove by the time that happened. Bolte hitting more of the center of the bag, or closer to the center than the very front of the bag. And I mean, that's just starting to nitpick. And it was a great play by Abrams, who had to reach down a bit to get the shovel pass from Nunez. Just shows you what kind of an athlete C.J. Abrams is, to be able to go down and get that ball, come up and get enough on the throw to get a speedy Bolte, or potentially.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner is out. Washington will retain their challenge.
You got to turn it incredibly quick to get the speed of Bolte out at first base.
Well, again, that's where all the credit to C.J. Abrams and the throw, because it was a tough transition from glove to hand.
Alike 1 for 2 with the double. He fouls it away. Griffin at 92 pitches. Activity in the bullpen for the Nationals.
Foster Griffin en route to pitching into or completing at least 7 innings in 4 out of his last 5 starts.
Would be his 10th quality start if he's able to finish right here, right now. For the Nationals, it's not a guarantee when they lead after 6. 12 losses. Second most in Major League Baseball. 1 behind Detroit.
Griffin, he's had 7 starts of 1 earned runs or fewer in a row. Looking to make this number 8.
That's a fair ball. Down the left field line, Alike is going to have another double. So with the lineup card turning over, Wilson will come up with a runner in scoring position.
Well, this ball spun on. Liga taking advantage of a ball just kind of sitting up, sitting in the middle. He can't get to it. Very quick call over there from James Hoy. Says this ball is indeed fair. See if Jay Willie can't come through here with 2 outs.
He gets underneath it. A pop-up shallow left. Lyle coming in, and he slows and makes the catch. 5-1 through 7.
Welcome back. Time now for your play of the day, presented by your California Ford dealers. And they were cruising on the base pass. Nats with 6 swipes this afternoon. They turned the base paths into a racetrack. That's the most stolen bases allowed by the Athletics this season. And the Nats sitting at the top of that stolen base leaderboard for a reason.
Well, welcome back, Jeff with a G. Jeff Hartlieb is back in the fold for the A's, pitching the 8th. Nats up 5-1 in this series finale.
Well, Jeff Hartlieb, as you mentioned, Chris, we have seen before. Just kind of part of the turnover experience that we've seen here with the bullpen. KG with a great stab. Able to gather it cleanly here for the first out. Kuroda Grauer has been outstanding defensively. See a hard one-hop shot to the left of Kuroda Grauer, who's able to range no problem. Throw a little leather at it. Complete the play on the back end. Well done.
Nasim Nunez up for a 4th time. He singled, stolen 2 bases, and scored a run. Not to mention a few quick turns defensively at second base.
He's been fantastic at second base.
This is a player that was a Marlins farmhand just a few years ago. Stayed in the division. Now the Nationals are benefiting from his talents. Bounce it on over to first, and it's a 1-2 count. That's in the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Tom Cosgrove warming up in the bullpen for the Nationals. High and outside. Bouncer to first. White takes it himself. Now let's hear a word from your Sacramento area Chevrolet dealers.
The Chevy Silverado and the open road, and tackling whatever's on the other side. There's a lot of country out there, and the Silverado is always ready.
See your Sacramento area Chevy dealers, proud partner of the A's.
James Wood 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. We mentioned it. 10 strikeouts on this series. Not representative of the body of work he's been able to put together this year for the Nationals. Just has not figured out A's pitching in a series that has yielded 29 runs for the Nationals. 23 in game 1, 1 in game 2, and now 5 here in the series finale.
Well, Gage jump.
Nice play. Alika putting on a masterclass at second base. 1, 2, 3 inning for Hartlieb. We go to the bottom of the 8th. This game summary is brought to you by Toyota. Well, Foster Griffin, excellent 10th quality start of the year. 7 innings with 1 run allowed, 97 pitches. Only struck out 2, but kept the ball in the ballpark. C.J. Abrams hit a 2-run home run, also had a double. Jacob Lopez, a decent start, and Tyler Soderstrom, 1 for 3 with an RBI, leads all left fielders in runs batted in, and he leads off the bottom of the 8th against a new pitcher. It is still a lefty, in Tom Cosgrove, making his 3rd appearance this season with Washington.
He's made a couple stops along the way here to the big leagues. Made his big league debut, or his Nats debut, excuse me, July 10th. That was against the Yankees. Scoreless 2/3 of an inning. Brought over from Houston. That's bullpen. Well, they've got the most work out of anybody in baseball. 461 innings. They've allowed the most homers. They've blown the most saves. And the ERA right near the bottom.
Soderstrom strikes out swinging, 1 away. There is a time to strike. It would be now, Dallas.
But I mean, look at the release point from Cosgrove. That low slot. That sweeping slider from that spot. Very, very tough to get to.
Cosgrove came onto the scene with San Diego. I remember that funky delivery well back in my time in the minor leagues when he was pitching at Nelson Wolff Municipal Stadium in San Antonio, Texas, a place you know well. A place where the ball does not fly at all. Gets Soderstrom, and now Langeliers behind at 0-2.
Shout out Henry the Puffy Taco and Baby Jalapeno.
That's still one of your favorites, isn't it?
Oh, it's my absolute favorite. My absolute favorite. The minor leagues is chocked full of interesting characters and fun things at the ballpark. I think the fact that you have a mascot race involving 2 mascots and children, and I mean, when I was playing, the idea was the mascots won every time. They didn't let the kids win.
1-2 pitch popped up in foul ground. Abrams giving chase, and that will go foul. Oh, you love a good flyover. That place, probably the nearest to a flyover that you can get in terms of the planes. I think there's a military airport there that flies in and out.
Flyover friendly.
Speaking of flyovers, that drone has put in a lot of work this year.
It has. Indeed it has.
Shea gets called out on strikes at the bottom of the strike zone. Going to use the final ABS challenge the A's have.
Better challenge to call a strike.
ABS is powered by T-Mobile, and this is a strike. And the A's are out of challenges here in the 8th inning. Back-to-back Ks for Cosgrove.
That sweeper. Nasty. You know, I think that's really, I think, a credit to what the Nats are doing and trying to do in terms of their pitching development. You see a guy like Cosgrove out there, and you say to yourself, you know, I think we might be able to do something here. I think there's something that we can work with in terms of his slot, his release point. You start to think about pitches that can be effective and what kind of weapon he can be. I mean, this is a guy who is, and look, it's a very short burst for Cosgrove right now at the big league level with the Nats, but I mean, you're seeing the sweeper 90% of the time.
So no mystery is what you're saying. That's a fly ball. That will go foul.
And I think it's not only a credit to the Nats and their development team, but also to Cosgrove, because you have to be open to the conversation, especially when it goes like this. Hey, this is what we see. This is what we think can happen. We need you to buy into it. And you go, so just the sweeper, huh? Yeah, for the most part. all right, I'm in. And if you can execute that and you find yourself in the big leagues executing that, you start to gain more and more confidence and you feel like, hey, this is a weapon. And if you're Cosgrove, you're saying to yourself, I am a weapon.
That's dumped into left field. Jonah Heim is able to turn around that same sweeper you were talking about. A 2-out knock for Jonah. His first hit of the afternoon. And a lot of movement.
Sure. Well, and I think the difference here is Heim's just able to stay back, right? That's what you take away from that. And that's where, for Cosgrove, it'll be, just figuring out, hey, how can I sneak the four-seamer in there? How can I move the two fastballs around? There you go. And it's almost like a backwards approach with the fastball. I think about a guy like Sergio Romo, who used to just spin the heck out of the slider. Slider, 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 slider. And then in one of the biggest at-bats of his life against Miguel Cabrera, able to lock the big righty up, the Triple Crown winner, the MVP, with a fastball. I mean, nobody in the ballpark thought a fastball was coming. And Sergio Romo, with it all on the line, says, here you go.
1-1, that's line foul. Kuroda Grauer 0 for 3. It's not something we've had to say a lot at all for number 44 in his young big league career. One-two pitch. Look at that. It was a four-seam fastball. He went down and got it and poked it the other way for a base hit. This is just a really impressive player that has taken the field every day for the A's.
This is the definition of a good piece of hitting. All right, look at it. I mean, that is just as handsy as it gets. By no means is that an A swing, maybe even a B swing, right? That's just I see the ball near the strike zone. I've got a job to do here. His 15th game today. Kuroda Grauer tying old Bill Burgo with 23 hits through his first 15 games in the big leagues. Tied for the most in athletics history. Well, that'll be all for Cosgrove this afternoon. They'll turn it over to the bullpen. It'll be Colby Thomas at the plate when we come back. Today we are proud to recognize the Sunshine Family Outreach Center as our nonprofit partner of the ballgame. Through their mobile bookmobile, they bring library service directly to under-resourced neighborhoods. They have already helped over 500 local kids sign up for cards and grow their love of reading. Support their mobile literacy mission at sunshinefamilyoutreach.center. And Chris had an opportunity last year to hook up with those kiddos and have a chit chat with them down on the field. Sorry I didn't get to hang out with them this year. Our friend Teresa, security guard here at the ballpark, tightly woven with that group, was able to introduce me and tell you just wonderful conversations with great kids. The mobile bookmobile doing fantastic work. Clayton Beater trying to do some work here.
Cortez comes off the bench and takes strike number 1. Well, Carlos had a wonderful evening last night. 2 for 4, an RBI double, a solo home run, 2 runs scored.
Well, here was part of that night. Got a fastball up, just let it get deep, put a good swing on it. Rode it out the opposite way.
Oh, 2. That skips away from Ford. A wild pitch advances the 2 runners up 90 feet. Heim to third. Kuroda Grauer to second. And now a base hit may score 2 more.
Well, Beater just trying to bury that slider. Nothing much that Ford could do but just try to throw a backhand on it. Fortunately for the A's, that ball kicks wide enough. They're able to move up a couple bases.
High and away. Since he was called up by Washington after the trade in 2025, he ranks 3rd in Major League Baseball for opponent average. Does Clayton Beeter. 159 opponents hitting against him.
Tough AB.
2-2. That's a weak ground ball. Chaparro will take it himself. And that'll end the 8th inning. Let's go to the 9th. A's down 4.
A's fans, Marvel Night is taking over the ballpark on Saturday, August 1st, as we battle the Detroit Tigers. Gotta be there early. You can grab an exclusive Nick Kurtz Marvel poster only while supplies last, and it is the ultimate crossover of baseball and Earth's mightiest heroes. Secure your heroic seats now at athletics.com/promotions. I'm sure they'll be here.
Yep. Wonder who his favorite Marvel superhero is. Who's yours?
I mean, I think Iron Man is such a, I don't know if it's necessarily cliche. Tough to beat, is it not?
You like Iron Man? You don't like the God of Thunder?
Thor, big Thor guy? Great hair.
Later, you know, when he becomes big time God of Thunder, Thor Odinson, the beard, I thought there would be a connection there, the Norse mythology. The Hulk, Spider-Man.
I think Spider-Man may be a longtime favorite.
Spider-Man's great. Cortez isn't right. And it's Meade against Hartley. A's down 4 runs. That's softly hit into left. Found the 5-6 gap, and Curtis Meade aboard for a 3rd time. His first hit of the game, though.
I mean, this is basically with one hand here from Curtis Meade. That ball charging all the way in. And really that top hand just along for the ride there. Bottom hand trying to whip the bat through and not get sawed off there. Luis Garcia Jr. now going to take his at bat. That'll be all for Chaparro. We'll see what Jeff Hartlieb has here for Garcia.
For Garcia, lots of trade talk surrounding the first baseman who's had a wonderful year. Player that's been with the Nationals for a few years now and really making a big impact this season for Washington. Soft line drive caught by Wilson. They will double up Meade here. Straight too far away. Wilson positioned perfectly. And the A's get 2 outs on 1 pitch.
Well, the ball scalded back up the middle, and Jacob Wilson very aware of Meade getting a little too far off, and Meade knew it right away. And Garcia sends us right back up through the box. And Wilson not wasting any time trying to shuffle his feet and get a foundation underneath him. He's got a great throwing arm he can trust. Got rid of it quickly and able to complete the double play.
He's haven't been able to get rid of C.J. Abrams in his last 2 at-bats. A 2-run home run and a double. He's 2 for 4 here today. Now 2 balls and no strikes. Next pitch to Abrams is ball 4. No reach base again, and Dylan Cruz comes up. Cruz 1 for 2, has been hit, has gotten a big hit, a solo home run. He's scored twice, he's walked, and he has Abrams at first. White holds him on. Hartlieb to the plate. And there's a swing and miss on a fastball. The A's will have to play from behind again here, Dallas, late in the game. Justin Lawrence warming up in the bullpen for the Nationals. He may be the reliever of choice to try and finish off the A's and claim a series victory for the Nationals. Remember, the A's have not won a series at this ballpark in their last 10 series played.
Yep, been a hot minute.
Since the end of April when the Kansas City Royals came to town. We're hoping that maybe that streak would end after the All-Star break, but right now, the position the A's are in, it's going to be tough to try and get out of that. They're going to need at least 4 runs with 3 outs left to play with.
You don't want to call it necessarily wishful thinking here, but you've got a bit of a hill to climb. Down to your last 3 outs. Hartlieb trying to throw up a goose egg here if possible.
Ball and 2 strikes, and he struck him out. A's down by 4, have 3 outs to try and get that back.
A's Baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, here we go, Dallas. A's down by 4 runs, 5-1 the score. Nats lead in the final game of this series before the A's hit the road and head to Arizona. Clayton Beeter still in the game. Looks like Donovan Walton has grabbed a bat. Jeff McNeil as well.
Well, let's see if those bats got some hits in them.
So it will be Donovan Walton first, McNeil waiting on deck. The righty on the mound, smart choice to bring in the 2 lefties. No matter how you slice it, you need base runners.
You
and
do.
You need them now.
Yes, you do. I mean, that'd be a fantastic way to get on the showbird and get out of town with a walk-off comeback victory. Remember, Garcia came in to pinch hit. Chaparro now over at first base.
Two balls and no strikes. White finished the day at 0 for 2 with a walk. 3-0. For Tommy White, he will enjoy his first big league road trip after this game. Arizona and Minnesota.
Here we go. We're doubled up now.
Now 3-1.
How about that? An unblemished record when it comes to success at the plate in the pinch hit role. 6 for 6.
Now 3-2. Well, Walton 0 for 4 on the series. Has walked 4 times. Had a 3-walk game yesterday. Was hit yesterday, so he reached base 4 times and scored twice. Still looking for his first hit as an Athletic, though. He takes. The A's don't have any challenges remaining.
Man, borderline pitch too. Probably one of those that goes either way. The less than the 10th of an inch variety. Oh.
McNeil had a nice night. Last night went 3 for 5. 3 straight hits from the 6th inning on, including 2 RBI singles and 2 runs scored. Maybe Jeff's starting to see it a little better.
Well, I think we can go back to what the beginning of the year looked like for Jeff McNeil. Absolutely raking. No. No, he did not.
Jeff McNeil's 3-hit game last night was his 3rd of the year. His first since June 15th. Now it's 3-1.
Looks like Lawrence Butler will take an at bat here in the 9th.
Shows bunt, and he pulled back. Will draw a walk. So the A's do indeed get a base runner in the 9th. And up comes Butler.
Still in the hand. Love to see Lawrence Butler just get a fastball away that he can drive. Got Young in center field shaded towards that left center gap, but get a pitch that he can get extended on. Lawrence Butler is a strong dude.
There was a fastball center cut that he takes. Butler can reach, then it would be Wilson and Soderstrom to follow. Just don't need the ball on the ground anywhere in the infield. It's fouled off of Ford's mask. He's okay.
Ford and Metz kind of checking on each other here. Caught them both.
Nationals defense has turned 2 double plays today. It's been Nunez and Abrams. And Butler strikes out on a low slider. So it's up to Wilson now.
Well, beater with that overhand delivery, that straight down gyro action on that slider. The bullet spinner.
McNeil's going to take second base. So a difference. He's in scoring position. Wilson has a hit today, 1 for 4. And he'll have another hit. That'll drop into left center field. McNeil scores. Wilson keeps the rally alive, and it's 5-2 with Soderstrom coming up.
Well, you'll take it. Absolutely. I mean, you can't make a comeback without base runners. Jeff McNeil able to work the walk, take second base. That was given up by the Nats. And now a knock from Jacob Wilson. Able to bring the A's just a bit closer. And Soderstrom able to keep that line moving. The odds get better and better.
Well, as we talked about, Wilson now on a 7-game hitting streak after his first inning single. He'll take second base, and Soderstrom will bounce out to end the game. So the Nationals win 5-2. The A's don't go down quietly. They do get a run in the 9th, but now 11 series straight that they have not won here in West Sacramento.
Well, you'll take the bounce back that happened last night. Unfortunately, I think you just see some of the inconsistency that the team has not been able to iron out. And it's great performances one day and maybe just a little left to be desired on others. He's trying their level best to figure out a way to find some of that consistency. I think Jacob Lopez out of the gate did a decent job, 4 1/3 innings under his belt. Brady Basso was great out of the bullpen, as was Hartlieb for the Athletics. Unfortunate for the A's offense, though, just not able to muster much against Foster Griffin, who was once again outstanding, adding to the great run of starts he's been able to put together for the Nationals as they continue to make a little noise in that NL East division.
Well, tomorrow it will be Phoenix, Arizona. Jeffrey Springs against the rookie Mitch Brad. A battle of 2 left-handed pitchers. The A's hoping to get back to where they want to be, starting on the road in the Valley of the Sun. Well, folks, that's it for us. Stay tuned, though. A's Cast on NBC Sports California with Chris Townsend and Steve Sachs, presented by Toyota, starts right now.